Bienvenue chez Fly Guys. Join me as I travel from Manila to Atlanta via Paris on Air France's business class seat on their Airbus A350-900 aircraft. This trip began in Manila's Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 3. Flying to and from the Philippines around the holidays is no joke. Even though this route is way longer than going across the Pacific, it was one of the only options we could find using our miles, and we were supposed to try Air France's new business class seats with doors on the Paris to Atlanta leg, until they swapped the aircraft 2 months before departure. Air France brought back direct flights to Manila in December 2024 after a 20-year break, but unfortunately, the route's now suspended from May through October 2026, basically making this seasonal. That said, this review should still serve a lot of people looking at flying Air France, as this seat is still being widely used by the airline in a lot of their A350s, and if I'm not mistaken, those planes will not be getting the newer seats for a while, or at all. Check-in was quick and uneventful, and the contracted lounge at the airport was pretty forgettable. Before long, we found ourselves boarding the plane. Boarding was slightly delayed and didn't begin until 15 minutes before our scheduled departure time of 10 p.m. Flight time is estimated to be 15 hours and 10 minutes, and our ETA to Paris' Charles de Gaulle Airport is at 6:10 a.m. the following day. Welcome to Seat 8L, Air France's roughly 7-year-old business class seat on the Airbus A350-900. Seat 8L is one of 34 business class seats spread across 9 rows in a 1-2-1 layout. The seats are staggered so they alternate positions, and Seat 8L, along with the even-numbered window seats, is one of the better picks for privacy. That's because it sits closer to the window instead of the aisle, and the console helps block you off so you're not exposed to aisle traffic. My first impressions of the cabin and seat were positive. The cabin looked really nice with a mostly white interior that made it feel clean and airy. The pops of color are mostly on the seats, featuring Air France's signature blue in different shades, giving the whole space a nice, understated vibe. Except for some slight wear and tear, I was impressed by the seat's overall condition. Waiting at the seat are the bedding, a hanger for your jacket, and a pair of onboard slippers. The console is pretty substantial and does a good job of cocooning you from aisle activity. If that's not enough, there's a clever partition you can pull out for a bit of extra privacy. I also like the large surface area, which gives you plenty of space to store or place items during the flight. Speaking of storage, there's a compartment with a door above the console table where you'll find the entertainment controller, the headphone jack, a mirror, and a bottle of water. Below that are the power outlets. To the side of the console are the seat controls, which are pretty straightforward with 3 preset options: upright for takeoff, reclined for lounging, and fully flat for sleeping. Below the armrest is a literature pocket that can also double as a small cubby of sorts. And closer to the seat, you'll find the reading light, flight attendant call button, overhead light controls, and additional seat controls. In front is a pretty large and very sleek 18.5-inch HD touchscreen. Below that is a USB port, and beneath it is where you pull out the tray table. The bottom part of the front panel is a fairly spacious footwell that becomes part of the bed when the seat is fully flat. For some reason, boarding felt a bit hectic, with everyone, including most of the flight attendants, scrambling around. Before long though, the crew came by and offered passengers a pre-departure drink, and I went with champagne.
L'emplacement de votre gilet de sauvetage est indiqué sur une étiquette devant vous.
The location of your life jacket is clearly marked by a sign in front of you.
Passez la tête dans l'encolure. Attachez et serrez les sangles.
Place it on your head and pull the straps tightly around your waist.
Une fois à l'extérieur de l'avion, gonflez votre gilet en tirant sur la poignée rouge.
Inflate your life jacket by pulling down on the red handle. Do this only when you are outside the aircraft.
En cas de dépressurisation, un masque à oxygène tournera automatiquement devant vous.
If there is a sudden decrease in cabin pressure, your oxygen mask will automatically drop down in front of you.
Veuillez alors retirer votre masque chirurgical et tirer sur le masque pour libérer l'oxygène, puis placez-le sur votre visage.
Please take off your surgical mask. Pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen and place it over your nose and mouth.
Une fois votre masque ajusté, il vous sera possible d'aider d'autres personnes.
Make sure your own mask is well adjusted before helping other passengers.
Our flight was delayed and departed 40 minutes after our scheduled departure time, and the cabin crew started meal service 20 minutes later. Here's the menu for this flight. Dinner was served after takeoff, starting with a vegetable tartlet appetizer along with a chicken ballotine and butternut squash puree salad. Main course options included beef cheek confit with sweet pepper sauce, chicken with mustard sauce, red snapper with saffron sauce, and a vegetarian mushroom and green asparagus risotto. The meal is finished off with a selection of cheeses, opera cake for dessert, and a fresh fruit salad. The menu also listed snack options available between the main meal services, as well as the pre-arrival breakfast. The rest of the menu includes a full list of drinks including champagne, white and red wine, aperitifs, beer, soda, fruit juice, and coffee and tea. The appetizer and drinks didn't reach my seat until almost 30 minutes after the crew started service. I'll chalk it up to being seated in the second to the last row of the cabin and the fact that it was also almost midnight in Manila, where I stayed for a month, but it did seem like service dragged on. Around this time, the crew came on the PA and asked if there was a doctor on board. It was the first time I had actually experienced that on a plane, and I felt bad for the person needing medical attention. Fortunately, it seemed to have been resolved as the flight continued on to Paris. While waiting for the rest of my meal, let me show you how the tray table works. The starters were solid, and I especially enjoyed the chicken ballotine. I didn't pre-order my meal and ended up going with a fish, mainly because it was so late and I wasn't really in the mood to eat. But the snapper was dry and I should have known better. Good thing though that the saffron sauce was good. The plating was also a letdown. It was just sloppy and not very appetizing. I'm not really a big cheese eater and I have mild lactose intolerance, but hey, when in Air France. To round out the meal, I just asked for the opera cake and a cup of decaf coffee. The cake was good, but the coffee was, well, instant coffee. The whole meal service took about 2.5 hours. I actually prefer it that way since I'm not able to sleep on flights, but I wonder if most passengers would rather just get it over with and go to sleep. After the meal, I decided to check out the lavatory. It was clean and fairly standard in size, and it was stocked with Clarence toiletries. I'm not sure if I've seen it before, but I also liked the touch of lighting built into the mirror. Back at my seat, I decided to check out the in-flight amenity kit the crew had distributed before departure. The bag is Air France branded and made of a soft material that's kind of like canvas, but not quite. It included standard items like socks, an eye mask, a pen, earplugs, a toothbrush and toothpaste, as well as small tubes of Clorons moisturizer and eye cream. It's unfortunate that this was a nighttime flight because I'm sure we passed over some really interesting landscapes. I kept catching myself checking the in-flight map whenever I saw a cluster of city lights outside, trying to figure out where we were. I also looked out for landmarks in places I'm familiar with to see if I could spot any traces of them as we flew nearby. I tried to document it, but my phone just wasn't good enough to capture anything in low light, let alone the views from an airplane window at night. In the absence of outside views, let's check out the in-flight ones. The screen on this Air France seat was really nice and sharp, and I liked that the default page wasn't focused on movies or general entertainment, but rather dedicated to your trip, including the flight map, aircraft cameras, Wi-Fi info, a destination guide, and general information on connecting flights. As for the rest of the content, there's a pretty wide selection of Hollywood films, French classics, TV series and documentaries, music, games, and even a channel dedicated to all things Air France. I don't know what it is with me and faulty IFEs, but on my last 3 consecutive long-haul flights, my IFE has acted up one way or another. with the Japan Airlines A350 Business Class still taking the cake though. Check out my review of that on my channel. Anyway, I went up to the galley and told a flight attendant about the issue, and it was promptly taken care of. When you're ready for sleep, Air France provides business class passengers with a mattress topper created in partnership with Sofitel My Bed. Voila! Here is the seat in the reclined position. And here it is in the fully flat bed position, which according to the airline is a 2-meter long lie-flat bed. Aside from the mattress topper, Air France also provides passengers a pillow and a comforter. There are no individual air vents for each seat, but except for a short period during descent, the cabin was kept at a comfortable temperature throughout the flight. The flight attendants seemed to walk around about once an hour, which is more than I can say for some other airlines. They didn't really ask if I wanted any snacks until the latter half of the flight, and then again about 3 hours before landing. If you'd rather not have something substantial though, the crew had set up a snack area in the galley where I grabbed a chocolate bar and a banana at one point during the flight. Oh, and before I forget, there's also a coat hook at the front of your seat, and the airline also provides each passenger with noise-canceling headphones. About 2 hours before landing, the cabin lights were gradually turned on in preparation for the pre-landing meal service. Although the crew was very apologetic about running out of the omelette, the only hot breakfast option, what annoyed me more was that the alternative platter of cold meats and cheeses was also unavailable, and I was served a salad instead. What the F, AF? With about an hour to go, the cabin had already been cleared of trays and was ready for landing. My thoughts on this flight were mixed. First impressions matter, and the flight crew never really welcomed passengers, or at least shared basic details like the flight time or expected conditions. We didn't hear from the captain until the descent into Paris. As for the cabin crew, it was a bit hit or miss. The flight attendant working our aisle was great for the most part, but the rest of the crew seemed somewhat detached and uninterested. Except for the chicken appetizer, the food wasn't all that impressive. The seat was okay for someone like me who doesn't sleep on flights, and the entertainment options were decent with a good variety. Overall, it was a slightly less than satisfactory flight. I forgot to mention earlier that as part of the boarding announcement, the airline reminded passengers not to photograph or film the cabin crew without prior consent, which I thought was interesting but totally understandable. I'd never heard that before though, and I appreciate the transparency. Apparently, British Airways has recently introduced a similar policy. After nearly 15 hours, we finally made it to Paris's Charles de Gaulle Airport. Bienvenue à Paris. We had an 8-hour layover, so we decided to go into the city to see some sights. I'm glad we did, even if we were only able to squeeze in the Eiffel Tower and the beautifully restored Notre Dame Cathedral, since the last time I was in France was in 1998. It's definitely time to come back and do a proper visit next time. Back at Terminal 2E, where our flight was departing from, we quickly checked out the Air France lounge at Hall M before boarding our flight. The flight took off around 30 minutes after our scheduled departure time of 1:50 p.m. Flight is estimated to be 9 hours and 45 minutes, and our ETA to Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson Airport is at 5:35 p.m. Compared to the previous flight, the captain actually made an initial announcement this time, and the crew seemed much friendlier as well. The plane was pretty dirty though. It's unfortunate that Air France made an equipment change after we booked our tickets. This leg was supposed to be on the newer A350 with business class seats that have doors. With that said, welcome to seat 8A, the exact same Air France A350 business class seat I had on the first leg, just on the opposite side of the plane. One thing I wasn't able to show on the first leg since it was a night flight were these automated shades, which I thought were pretty cool. This was before Airbus introduced electronically dimmable windows in their A350s. Since the seat and seat area were pretty dirty, I decided to use the mattress topper as a bit of protection, even though I was just sitting upright. I kind of wish I'd done the same on the first leg since it added some extra padding and made the seat more comfortable. Meal service began around 20 minutes after we took off. For this flight, they are serving lunch, which includes an appetizer of pink peppercorn cream, onion compote, and tomato crumble. That is followed by a starter of sunchoke mousseline and pickles, scallops with dill, and avocado and hazelnuts. Choices for the main course include veal with cumin sauce, roast guinea fowl with vinegar caper sauce, pollock fillet with cherry jus, and a vegetarian option of quinoa risotto with lemon and tangy chive sauce. They also have a cheese course that follows, and then a dessert of either a soft biscuit, white chocolate crisp, and vanilla mousse dessert, or a crunchy biscuit, coconut mousse, and mango and passion fruit confit dessert. The menu also listed snack options available between the main meal services, as well as their pre-arrival meal. The rest of the menu includes a full list of drinks including champagne, white and red wine, aperitifs, beer, soda, fruit juice, and coffee and tea. I was still probably full at this point as I, for some reason, went with the fish option again. Fortunately though, this one was pretty good. Even the starters were great. The scallops with dill was superb. I don't remember anymore, but I think I just had ice cream for dessert this time. Meal service lasted for around 2 hours and 15 minutes. Again, I don't mind this since I don't get to sleep on flights. This way, I would only have to find something to do for the remaining 7.5 hours of the flight. The day before my flight, I actually received a text message saying Wi-Fi wouldn't be available on this flight due to technical maintenance. Once on board though, I heard a flight attendant confirm that there was Wi-Fi after all. When I tried logging in, I was pleasantly surprised to find that Starlink was already installed and working on this aircraft. It was fast, and I pretty much streamed videos on my phone the whole time. The flight attendants closed all the shades in the cabin about 3.5 hours after departure. It's a good thing they weren't locked in that position, so I was still able to peek out the window every now and then. I really don't like this. There are eye shades for people who want to sleep on daytime flights. The pre-arrival meal service didn't start until about an hour and a half before landing, which had me a bit worried. But it only took about 30 minutes for the food to be served and for passengers to finish. I'm not sure how it worked, but it seemed like the flight attendant serving my aisle knew I hadn't been served a proper breakfast on my previous flight. He actually came up to me before the meal service started to let me choose my pre-arrival meal first, just to make sure I got what I wanted. I'd be impressed if that information had been passed along between crews, though it could have just been a coincidence. But either way, I appreciated the gesture. I chose the duck shepherd's pie, and like the lunch service, it was very flavorful and good. After a little over 9 hours, we were finally making our initial descent into Atlanta. Except for the dirty plane, which still baffles me considering it wasn't properly cleaned at its home airport, this flight was noticeably better than the first. From the pilots to the cabin crew, everyone seemed focused on making sure passengers had a pleasant experience. The food was also much better flying out of Paris. On the flip side, there were only 2 restrooms for business class passengers, and the front one always seemed occupied on this flight. Having to wait long periods just to use the restroom didn't feel very premium at all. This trip totaled around 36 hours of travel time, from when we arrived at Manila's airport to our arrival in Atlanta. It's not the most ideal way to fly from Southeast Asia to the United States, but it also wasn't that bad. For the most part, Air France met my expectations of a global flag carrier, though the experience wasn't very consistent between the back-to-back flights, both in terms of service and food. But I'd definitely fly Air France again, even on these older Airbus A350 business class seats, especially between the US and Europe. They were noticeably better than my experiences flying US airlines across the Atlantic. Thank you for watching and safe travels. Please make sure to like and subscribe.